Okay, when I'm done here, after doing that, we're in the second video here. So we're picking up where we left off in the video of Tower 2 Part 1. So this is the video of Tower 2 Part 2. Make sure you go ahead and unclick Start Picking there. Since this viewport is highlighted here, we're going to go ahead and maximize that. We want to zoom in on this section right here. So we're just I'm going to zoom in. And then I'm going to pan, get a little tighter view, and I may even use the orbit here to kind of, so I can just see this section here. Then what I'm going to do is, with the tower selected, I'm going to go to the modify panel, which I'm already on here. And then what I want to do is come down here and to the display mode, and I want to select operands. By selecting the operands, it brings back the parts that we deleted from earlier on, but we'll have a purpose for that here just in a little bit. What you want to do now is scroll down to where you see all of these options here. These are things that we've done. What we want to do is we're going to select one of these here, and the one we're going to select here is this one right here where it says sub TR box 017 or 17. Once we select that, we want to click make sure move is selected, and we're going to come out here and we're going to change. We're going to click the absolute mode again. We're going to change the X coordinate here to -9. You'll notice that'll bring that box out toward the end of it. There is actually this end right here is actually centered in the middle of the tower now. And what we're going to do now is scroll back up to the display, and we're going to click result. You'll notice this will go away again. So when we do that, it goes away, but you notice now we're centered here on the back. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to create like a cylinder, half cylinder piece that goes right in this opening here. So what we're going to need to do is go back to the create panel. We're going to select, make sure auto grid is on after we select cylinder. So we're going to select cylinder, check the box for auto grid. What that does is it puts a grid on once we select this. So we're going to hold down, and we're going to drag this out wide like this, release it, and then go up with it. Height, dimensions, all that is not important at that point. We're going to redimension everything here shortly. And we're going to go ahead and turn off auto grid. And again, with this selected, the cylinder there, we're going to select a line. Then we're going to select the tower, and we want to make sure the X and the Y are selected, and then we need these both centered here. And then we hit OK. And notice how that centers the piece right in the middle here. Then we need to modify this cylinder here. So we're going to click modify. We're going to change the radius to 13. The height will go to 30. Height segments will go to 8. The sides will go to 20. Next, you're going to come up here and select in uniform scale. You'll notice we have the X, Y, Z right here. We're actually click on the X, drag, hold it until to right here, and you'll know where to stop, because down here I had a X of 70. I know it just changed back to 100, but as I was dragging it in, it came down to 70. Okay, when I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and right click and select isolate selection. You'll notice how it just brings me that piece. Then I want to right click again, and I'm going to come down here to convert to, and the one that I want to select here is, so what I want to do is convert to edible poly. And you notice how that changes my selections here. Okay, to get to this point here, go ahead and click off somewhere off to the side. Just left click a couple times. That'll deselect this view here. I know I jumped ahead of you a little there, but I didn't skip anything. All I did was deselect on the side here. That gets rid of this. Let's go ahead and make sure that the select object is selected. Go ahead and click on the cylinder here again. Come over here, make sure that you have edge selected. It should be highlighted yellow to let you know that it is selected. Then what you do is click one of these horizontal edges right here. So if you click that, you'll see it highlights in red. Then we're going to come down here and click on ring. And you'll notice it selects all of those edges, okay, in that same spot. What we're going to need to do is actually back out just a little bit and kind of move this. Actually, we can go back in a little here. And then right click to get rid of the zoom. Go ahead and if you hold down alternate on the keyboard, select the top and lower edges there. So we want everything on the inside of there selected. After we've done that, we're going to go ahead and select loop. And you'll notice that'll select all the rings all the way around, except for the top and lower one. Then what we're going to do is scroll down a little bit here on the rollout, select the settings for chamfer, and we're going to adjust some settings here. This window here pops up for us. And what we're going to do is change this from 0.025 to 0.6 meters. And we'll hit the OK on it. And then we'll hit the check again. And you'll notice how that brings those in a little tighter. And the next step that we need to do is go back up here, make sure that polygon is selected, and we're going to select the left view. So this is the left view right here. I'm going to right click on here and select orthographic. I'm going to select zoom extents. I'm going to hit it twice so that way it comes out to this view. Then what I'm going to do is hold down control on the keypad, and I'm going to drag across and select those inside pieces. They'll turn if you do it wrong like that, that's selecting too much, so you just left click on the screen somewhere. Again, alright, let's try it one more time. Here we go. I'm just dragging across here, and I let it go. Make sure you don't get on the lines because you'll turn them red, all red. Okay, now they're all selected. And then what we're going to do is come down to bevel here on the settings. And then we want to hit the drop down. This here, instead of group, we want to do local normal. Gives us two options. The height here and then the outline. So what we want to do here is, so for the height we actually want it to be 1, and for the next one here on the outline we actually want that to be negative 0.1. We go ahead and hit the check mark, and then we hit it again. You'll notice a change there, and then right click and get out of the isolation mode. Scroll back up here and turn off polygon. You'll see the difference here. So let's go ahead and maximize this so we have this whole thing selected. And then what we want to do is hit zoom extents. So we have the whole view selected. Actually, we're going to be on the front view. Just go ahead and hit zoom extents on the front view so you can see this here, so you can see the whole thing. Wireframe mode is a little easier to see everything. It's outlined a little bit. Then what we're going to do is we're going to select that cylinder in there. We're going to hit move, select move. We're going to hold down shift. On the top arrow here, we're just going to bring this down to about here. And we're going to let everything go. Let the keyboard off and the mouse at the same time. And we're going to go ahead and select copy and hit OK. Then we want to make sure that we're going to select this mode off. We're going to make sure that the Z is actually at 0. So again, remember, we need to make sure you're in absolute mode transform here, and make sure that the Z is to 0.0. And let's go ahead and maximize that viewport, and let's go ahead and zoom in, and then we can pan down here a little bit and right click. So again, this is selected and still should be selected and moved. If it's not, select this and hit move. We're going to drag on the X here. We're going to put this about center here Okay. And then we're going to come up here and we're going to hit select and uniform scale. And what we want to do is select the Y here, and we want it to go just high enough to where it's going to go into that first floor right there. Right about there is good. Okay, and then what we're going to do is hit zoom extent. Actually, let's right click. Let's select off of this. Okay, so what we're going to do is come up here, select object, and we make sure we deselect the cylinder. We're going to hit zoom extent, or actually hit the maximize the viewport. Let's come back to the orthographic and maximize that. I'll select the view cube here, pan it a little bit. Okay, and let's go ahead and select, make sure tower is selected. And then what we're going to do here is on the parameters, make sure union is selected, the option here, and we're going to hit start picking. We're going to select the two cylinders, so this one and this one. That will bring these as a part of the whole drawing now. So go ahead, when you're done with that, go ahead and deselect start picking. Okay, and then we're going to come up here and select the object button. We're going to select the tower. And then we're going to right click in the screen, select convert to editable poly. And then what we want to do here is orbit this till we can see the roof pretty clearly. So we can zoom in here. Then what we're going to do is select the back edge of the roof. You notice that turns red. Then go ahead and with that selected, hit the move button. You'll notice that the Z coordinates at 200. We're going to change that to 160. You'll notice the roof will slope at that point. Notice the slope on the roof here. And then what we're going to do is select polygon. We're actually going to select the top of the roof here, and notice how it changes to red. Then we're going to scroll down. Then we're going to select the inset right here on settings and change that to 2 meters. And hit check mark a couple times here. Okay, after you have done the inset and that's still highlighted, you come over here to extrude and select settings. Change that extrude value to -2.0. You'll notice how it comes in a little bit there.